Well, happy, beautiful, amazing evening. I'm Dr. Bob Rakowski, Blue Diamond out of Houston, Texas, with this week's edition on the conversation on success. We're going to talk about what's working right now and what is dying really fast. Great news. Organo has extended its 2026 enrollment special throughout February. So you still have another week to bring new members in for just $20.26. Yeah, I like to consider myself a good student of life and success in business. And I've studied under Les Brown and other great speakers. And what Les will tell you is whenever you're talking to an audience, they want to know three things. Number one, who are you? Number two, what do you have? And number three, why should I listen to you? So I often tell people I'm a family man. I'm a child of God. I've been married 38 years to Kelly Rakowski. I've got three amazing kids, six beautiful granddaughters, absolutely love life. As a professional, Kelly and I are serial entrepreneurs. Probably my most famous is as a doctor and as a educator. And so here's what I can tell you. I've treated every demographic you can imagine, world champions from every major professional sport, people that medicine gave up on, that were sent home to die, and everything in between. I'm happy to say that we've had great successes with every demographic. We've also had a phenomenal series of successes with Organo. We've got a team of over 30,000 people that have generated over $60 million in sales. And we're coming up on our 14-year anniversary with Organo. And I hope in the near future, I'll be saying that I'm a best-selling author. So my book, Magnificent by Design, should be coming out with about a month or so. There's going to be an audio version, paperback version, hardcover version. We're going to talk about ways to build your best body, your best health, and your best life. Now, what's working now and what is dying fast? And I'll tell you that this is one of my favorite parts of every single mastermind. Diane Solano and I have invested significantly in Eric Worre's mastermind. We meet in person about 3 times a year, and typically the first day we talk about what's working now that's a little different, so we're all ever expanding, and what's not working and what do we need to go away from. So here is what's working. We'll focus on that. Short form video, only 30 to 60 seconds every day. You don't need much special equipment. Most people have a phone. I recommend good lighting, good sound, etc. But if you're getting content out there and people are interested in it, you're building your network. Stories, you've got to become a good storyteller, and that story should lead to the brand that you're building. AI assistance, not just prospecting, but everything. This presentation I put mostly together with AI. I asked, hey, what's working in network marketing? What's not working? And can you create a PowerPoint? Now I add things into it because, I always want to make things my own, but AI can be a phenomenal tool. Build your community first, build your tribe, then it'll be easy to build your business. Product first recruiting. This is where we're really lucky because we have an epic product. We want to have direct conversations with people. And then certainly we want to promote events as a way of building. So here's what we know. If you put a short form video on, you're 350% more likely to have that viewed than if you just put a static picture. Now, in the box that I highlighted, it talks about algorithms. If you honor whatever they're doing in terms of algorithms, and by the way, they're forever changing it, so it helps to keep up with that, then you will continue to be noticed on social media. So story-led personal branding. Now, notice it says 87% of top earners use their personal story. I would actually bet it's probably 100%, but 87% of them, it's a major selling point of what you're doing. When you tell your story, you build trust. And by the way, you probably don't want to say, I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. My life was the best it could ever be. And it just got better from there. That's probably not a story most people want. The people that are making a lot of money in network marketing, they all have a story of being in a spot they didn't want to be. It could have been in terms of health, relationships, finances, maybe all the above. And network marketing led them out of that challenge. So Steve Jobs asked this question when he got hired on with Pixar, who's the most powerful person in the world? And what he said is it is the storyteller. And by the way, it probably always has been. So when you use AI effectively, it suggests you can be at least 10 times as efficient. And I think that worked out in this presentation. This is a slide that AI made for me. And did I put time and effort into getting ready for this? Yeah, I always do. In fact, I love doing it, but I promise you much less time because AI is doing the heavy lifting. If you haven't learned AI, watch some very simple videos. Eric Worre in the Mastermind had a section on AI, and I've got to tell you, it was very helpful. Helped me to get my book out faster. And again, even this presentation. So learn AI. So I'm not going to put artificial intelligence up against human intelligence. We have things that artificial never will have, but they do have a pretty good database. And then let's not forget about infinite intelligence. When you partner with infinite, you can't get too much. Think about that, right? And shouldn't we all be partnered with infinite? So community building first. Again, you want to build your tribe, then it's a lot easier to build your business. And I like this term, community is the new currency. I don't know if it's new. We've always wanted to be part of a community, part of a tribe. Think about solitary confinement being a very, very big punishment. And I'll give a shout out to Team Canada and Diamond Diane Solano. They build a really good community and they consistently have in-person gatherings. Product first recruiting. AI says this is 5x as powerful as business first recruiting. And wouldn't that be awesome? Because we have what I believe is the best product to recruit with. Cleanest coffee, award-winning coffee, 3 years running. Actually, that's my website. I recommend you create a website like that for you, bettercoffeeshop.com. Why don't I put my website on that? We're all part of the business. Someone else is going to see that. I want them to have a path to me. And I would encourage you, get a path to you and the businesses that you are promoting, especially Organo. So this is John Paul DeJourian. He's a billionaire. He was on Impact Theory, and he says, let me give you some advice. If you want to get rich, you do not want to be in the sales business. Why? Because you're one sales away from being out of business. But you do want to be in the reorder business. Do the work once, get paid many times more than once. So direct message conversations. I even will go with person-to-person phone, or better yet, face-to-face if we have to use the screen, or in person is best. But we know that if you're talking to one person, that is a lot less diluted than a group message, and people will feel a whole lot more special. All business is a conversation. So the more conversations that you have, obviously, the better. And then finally, events and live experiences. AI says those are 800% more effective than not live. We use 10x, 13x as part of the mastermind. 8x might even be on the low end, but I can tell you what, I've always found that in person was a whole lot more valuable. So now Organo is going to have a whole series of regional events all over the place. I put stars where I plan to have our teams, regionals, Midwest, Texas, Florida, Washington, D.C. area. We've got really good teams there. But you start looking at the U.S., we should probably have teams everywhere. Picture on the bottom over there is that very, very simply, we had a diamond meeting in Las Vegas. Some of the European diamonds didn't come in, but the beautiful thing is we are so connected as a company, as a group of people committed to making Organo great. So when people do build their business right, they usually, they're in it for the long haul. If they don't, they're usually gone within 90 days. Richard Blissbrook, one of my favorite networkers, his Authentic Network podcast. I really like that a whole lot, but he interviewed people that had jumped from company to company to company. And I'll show you the results of that survey in just a moment. But very, very simply, Vince Lombardi said it best: winners never quit, quitters never win. When people went from company to company, Richard asked them, how successful do you think you would have been if you had stayed with that company? And they said they would be 5 to 20x more successful. So if you think about like an exponential curve, when a baby's born, they might be 1/20th their total size. And believe it or not, they're a lot more than 1/20th their height. That's about 1/20th their weight. When they're just a few years old now, they're about 1/5 of where they're going to grow to in life. Think about that. You've got to stay in the game long enough to be successful. I believe we all have superpowers and we all can build an amazing business and life, but you have to stay in the game long enough to reach your potential. Cold Facebook pitches are dead. If you don't create rapport, you start trying to sell somebody, you're probably going to get unfriended really fast. How do I know? Because people do that to me all the time. They reach out to me, they start pitching me something. Boom, I'm not even replying. I'm unfriending. Do you not even want to have a conversation? Do you have it? You want to know anything about me, or you just want to sell me your product? They try to sell me their product. I am gone. 3-foot rule, that used to be way back in the early days. Hey, if they've got a pulse, talk to them. Maybe not, right? Look around, find people that match, people that have something going on, strike up a conversation. Remember, if people don't have a need, a want, or a don't want, they're probably not going to build our business. And you don't know any of that when you're just looking at someone. Start a conversation, learn about them, establish rapport, make a friend, and then work on building your business. Network marketing is full of hype. I hate to say this, but I'm in the masterminding. I swear there's even, huge earners that are hyping way too much. The truth is absolutely good enough. As soon as you start hyping claims, you are going to lose credibility. And I can't even imagine that your energy would align with it. So Eric Worre said it best decades ago, network marketing isn't perfect. It's just better. And I agree with that. There's no perfect business. Kelly and I have had many traditional businesses. It costs a fortune to start. There's a lot of overhead. Network marketing, start for now, $20. What's your monthly overhead? Your phone bill, couple hundred bucks worth of product, not much. Risk reward in network marketing, huge. Hotels as primary gatherings are dead, even though in person are coming together. This used to be the way that network marketing was built. That probably ended more or less in 2020. And even the nameless and warm market. Understand that we've got about 8 billion people on the planet, and there's going to be a lot of people that will resonate with you. I don't care how unusual you are. Find your demographic, because that is who you will do best with. So what do I always tell people? You want to make friends. You want to share from the heart. You want to get better every single day, and certainly have fun during the process. And that is a formula for success. Now, company first branding is dead. Although we've been pretty good about that. We want to build our personal brand. We want to build Organo. We want to build the king of coffee. What will give you an edge on your competition is you building your brand. Organo is building their edge, their brand, the best organic coffee in the world, the Organic Products Trust, the Reishi infused, everything that you could imagine. And then our other verticals are all building a rock solid brand. So Tom Bill you how to build $1 billion brand. He's actually done it. And what you want to do is consistently add value, solve a problem, and do it in a way that people actually enjoy. And by the way, I can't think of any better product for ours that people can enjoy and solve a problem. So what kind of brand are you building? If you're a brand within a big system, you're going to get lost. But what if your brand is your center on what you do? And then finally, what if it's centered not only on what you do, but who you are? And that is the most solid way to build. Find out who you want to be, become that person, and build that life. There are cultures in network marketing that used to chase ranks, do whatever you need to do to get that pin, that next promotion. That's dead. What they found out is that people were not acting in people's best interest when they were chasing pins. So you absolutely do not want to do that. Be a culture that consistently adds value. So if you adapt to the things that are working, short form videos, storytelling to create your brand, AI assisted, not just outreach, but content creation, build your tribe and community, recruit using the best products in the game, always add value and connect directly with people. Face to face or screen to screen is better than voice to voice. And then finally, live events are there. So Archimedes said, give me a lever long enough, a prop strong enough, and I can single-handedly move the earth. What are you going to leverage? Your brand, the relationships you build, the products that are best in class from Organo, technology, which is ever evolving. And by the way, Organo has an AI. Organo has the OG Pulse app. Organo has a new and improving back office. The business model, still network marketing, about $194 billion a year. That is a huge market. We've got tools. Best tool is a sample. I really like three-way calls. And then finally, events that are coming back. And as always, I'm Dr. Bob Rakowski, absolutely knowing that we can all be happy, healthy, and successful. Do you have something else that's working now? Do more of it. Do you have something that's not working anymore? Do less of it. And always have a happy, healthy, beautiful, blessed, and amazing evening. Bye for now.